His first time out, he beat a very, very good horse of yours called Busty Brown by 13 lengths. You must have been fairly impressed with that performance by Pont Alexander.
Yeah, he looks very good, and then he was very good in Levingston as well. I think he's a long way best of the Irish. I like watching Rule the World there. That was the day that Grey Horse Champagne fever ran really badly and was supposed to have had an infection or whatever. And Minsk really hasn't been cutting the mustard at all, you know, like, I mean, his form is falling down flat, so I couldn't see Rule the World. So if the Irish ones, I think Pont Alexander's way out ahead of them. And look, it's very hard for us to know what the English one's up. The new one looks good enough, and so there's a couple of those there that look good enough, but I think the way they're talking from down in Sutton about this fella, they think he's really special. And I think Ruby was on a panel last night with Ted Jr. and he was very sweet on him as well. He said Ruby's very keen on him, so I think that he's going to be very hard to beat.
So you wouldn't put anybody off backing him that wants to back him?
I wouldn't put anyone else backing him, no.
Dave, he certainly does look a very, very useful horse, but there's some decent horses in there. Most notably Rule the World, who won the Grade 2 Sligo Hurling Clavel, and he looks a decent value bet at a big price. He's double figure odds, I think.
Yeah, you just questioned the form of that race, Dennis. You know, Champagne Fever clearly ran below himself and was found to be wrong, but he's subsequently come out and won a Grade 1 since. But I think Pont Alexander is a certainly. He's one of the Irish bankers of the week. He shortened last week. He was 11-4 last week. He's a 7-4 shot. I say he'd be 6-4 on the day. I really think for a horse to come from France after having one run and pitch up in a Grade 1 hurdle and absolutely destroy horses and good horses, and do exactly the same in a Grade 2 the last day at Leopardstown, carrying a Grade 1 penalty. I think this horse is the real deal. 2.5 miles, he's going to love it. And if they get the rain that's forecast over the weekend, he's going to love it as well. I think at 7-4, he's one of the Irish bets of the week.
Okay, Kevin, what's your view on Pont Alexander? They certainly seem to really, really like him, and he's a gorgeous looking horse, isn't he? Big, imposing horse.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem to have any chinks in the armour that we're seeing at the moment, and it's very unusual for Willie to run a horse on his Irish debut, having his first run in a Grade 1. And I remember after Morgiana Day, was it, or Royal Bond Day, at Ferryhouse, we went up for a drink with the lads afterwards, Rich Ritchie and us, and I remember Harold Kirk and Willie Mullins said to myself and Gary O'Brien, you can tell Gordon Elliott to leave Don Costa get home. He says, we have one, we're not telling you the name of it, but he said he'll win the Grade 1 at Navan. And you know, I think that was 2 weeks later. He absolutely bolted up. He travelled extremely well. He seems to have everything. He seems to have pace, he jumps well, travels well, probably quite versatile by looking at his actions and what kind of ground he'd go on. On all known form, what all of these have done, he's by far and away the best horse in the race on the book. He's won a Grade 1, he's won a Grade 2 with a penalty in impressive fashion. I can't see any chinks in his armour. I think he'd be very, very hard to beat. And I think he's one of the naps of the week, to be honest about. Rule the World is the intriguing one. I don't think he's good enough, but what Noel said is quite right. Champagne Fever ran way below par that day in Ace. He stopped as if he was shot turned into the straight. I think it was found to be something amiss with him afterwards. It was on the papers, but he did absolutely bolt up that day. And if you're looking for an each way bet, he could be the one to go for, because no better man than Mouse Morris, as I said in the race and posted out in an interview, the boutique stable. He never trains a great amount numbers wise, but he always has a lot of quality, and no better man to get a horse ready for the big day than Mouse Morris. And if he's 8 or 9 to 1, I can't see past Pont Alexander, but Rule the World, if he's 8 or 9 to 1, he's an each way bet to finish on the 3.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. You're dead right. Mouse never brings horses to Cheltenham unless they have a reasonable chance.